What's going on, everyone? This is Erica, it's for the win, and I want to go ahead and give my first impressions, or should I say lasting impressions, with Furi. That's actually going to be the title of my article. I can't give a full fledged out review because I have not beat the game yet, and I'm way too stubborn to put it on an easier mode. I just won't do it. And the thing with that is, even if I wanted to, it punishes you for that. You can't get trophies, you can't unlock the Furier mode, which is the hardest mode, and it will unlock if you do beat it on the normal, I guess you can call it quote-unquote normal, Fury mode. But if you try and go easier, you're not going to get that stuff. And so it does let you know that, hey, you can play it on easy, but you're not going to get the full experience. You're not going to get the full rewards of the game. So just a heads up, if you guys do intend to do that, you can do it, you can go ahead and play it on easy, but you're not going to get all the goodies, you know what I mean? So yes, let's go ahead and get into this video. I'm going to kind of stick to my formula that I have in my article. If you guys want to check it out, I'll leave that link in the description where I go more in depth about my first impressions, but I'm just going to kind of use this as some notes. That way I can keep this on track and not get too out of order. So just in case you guys don't know, Furi is a boss rush game. It's going to test all your skills, it's going to test your reaction, your reflex, everything. It's a mix of twin stick shooter and intense combat. And what I mean by intense is that it really is, because it's so precise. Just how fast you are with your decision making is so important in this game, because every boss is so uniquely designed and has a variety of moves, and so you have to be ready to counter those moves and be ready to know what to do on the fly, because when you're playing these bosses for the first time, you don't know what to expect, at least if you haven't watched anything or anything like that. If you're coming in fresh and you're going through the phases of these bosses, you're not going to know what's going to happen, and you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready to know what to do, whether you have to dodge, whether you have to parry, or just straight up run away or use your gun. It's all on the fly, and it really keeps you on your toes. And that's what I love so much about this game, is that it's such an adrenaline rush, big time. And when I'm talking about phases with each of these bosses, every time you go through a phase, you defeat that phase and take a life from that boss, you will get your health back as well as a life back if you need it. On the reverse side of things, if he takes a life from you, he will get his health back, as well as it will restart the phase. So you have to do that phase all over again. And this game is just so in-depth when it comes to the combat. There's just so much to learn. The controls are simple. You dodge, you parry, you can use charge attacks, you can slash, you can shoot, but mastering these moves is what really makes this game so special. I think it's really what makes it so addicting. You guys know me, I'm into games like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and I like to be punished. It's kind of this weird thing about me and the other fans of those types of games. We like to be punished. We like to learn from our deaths. We like to learn from our mistakes. And Furi definitely does that. It will punish you if you press the wrong button or you're just a little bit late on your parry. You will get punished, and ultimately it makes you better. Of course, with the combat, you are using a sword, and it's awesome. I like to hack and slash with it. I like to get the charge attack. I like to parry. I like to have counters on the bosses. It just makes me feel powerful. It makes me feel satisfied and rewarded, and just hearing that little chime when I hit that perfect parry is just awesome. It's just something that's so precise. You have to be so perfect at times, and that's what really motivates me to get better. And when it comes to these bosses, they have 2 layers of health. For the first layer, anything goes. You can use your parrying, you can shoot them. This is really the only time you can shoot them. You can dodge, you can run around, you can strategize any way you want. But once you get to that next layer, once you get that first layer of health down, it triggers close quarters. And you can no longer shoot. You have to use your combat, you have to dodge, you have to parry. These 2 moves are the most important in my opinion. Yes, there's the charge attack, there's, other things you can do that can really put things into your favor, but if you can get by dodging really well and parrying at least good most of the time, you can beat these bosses, because that's what happened with me. There's times where I just sucked at parrying. I'm getting a lot better, but there's been times where I've just had to rely on just dodging or just that one perfect parry just to get me by. If you can just do that, you can definitely beat these bosses. And let me just touch on the story for anybody who is curious about it. Not a lot to tell at this point. It's a little bit complex. There's some stuff to think about. I do have this mentor, rabbit face guy. He's kind of my companion, and he's putting things into my mind. At this point, I don't really even know if he's real. I don't know if he's part of my mind as the character. I don't know if he's just some imaginative character that my character is seeing. I have no idea. All I know is that he does give advice, but at the same time, he kind of has a pessimistic attitude in a weird way. He'll say things like, man, we're never going to get out of here, or, it seems like we're always going to keep fighting forever, just things like that. So it's very interesting listening to the dialogue. I like the voice acting. You can switch it to Japanese if you'd like, just to keep it more interesting, and then you can just have the subtitles on. Either way is cool. The voice acting is really good in this game, and it's interesting. I'm curious, and I want to see more when it comes to the story. I need to see how it unfolds, because it seems like there's going to be some kind of twist. I have my guesses. I'm sure you guys will too. But for right now, I'm still kind of putting the puzzle pieces together when it comes to the story. As far as anything else, there's a practice mode, which I really enjoy. It gives me a chance to beat the bosses again and again and just kind of learn more, get better at things, do some little time trials with myself, try and beat my records from before. It keeps track of how many hits you take, and it keeps track of how fast you complete the boss. So it's really cool. You can make little challenges with yourself or your friends or however. I think it has a lot of potential here for speed runs and things like that. It's just showing that there's a lot of replayability here, and I'm on board with that because I've spent a couple hours just playing the practice mode. So that goes to show you that there's a lot of fun to be had even just with that, and that's not even the main game. It's just being able to play the bosses again, which is something I want so much in games like Bloodborne and Dark Souls. I would love to just continually play the bosses over and over, but every game's different. I just appreciate that it's in this game because it gives you a chance to get better and to learn just basically the ins and outs of all of these bosses. And it will update as you beat more and more bosses. It's not going to start off with just letting you go to any boss. You have to beat the bosses first, then you have access to using the practice mode to fight those bosses again. And as far as anything else, I know a lot of people are comparing this game to other previous games like Dark Souls, of course, Bayonetta, I've heard that, Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden. I mean, there's a lot of games you can compare this to, but I definitely think it stands out as its own. It has its own identity, and it's a hit, man. I think this is a sleeper hit. So far, it's my sleeper hit. I will definitely think of this game for Game of the Year once I beat it and everything. This game is one I'm going to remember and want to go back to. Right now, as it is, just working on this first impression, writing up my first impression, the whole time I was just tempted to play. I just wanted to play it. And that's something big for me. If I'm always thinking about it and I just want to go back to it and I'm ignoring other games and stuff like that, that's a big deal for me. And that tells me that I feel this game is really good, it's special, and it's definitely worth playing. If you have PlayStation Plus, this game is free right now for the month of July. You have to get this game. There's no excuse. If you want this game on Steam, it's going to be $25. Now, is it worth that? Would I pay that? Yes, I definitely would. For me personally, I would pay $25 for this game, especially if I got some hands-on access with it. I would just know that, yes, this is worth it. Now, if you don't have any access to this game, you can't play it for whatever reason, definitely check out more videos, check out more gameplay, and just kind of ask yourself, is this a game for me? Am I into this type of game? Do I like fighting bosses? Do I like dying? Do I like learning from my mistakes? And with the art style and the music, especially the soundtrack, how could I forget? The soundtrack, let me mention this. The soundtrack is so amazing. It's an electro soundtrack. There's some notable artists that are on it, and it's going up for sale, I think. I think you can buy it. I'm going to look into it. I want it badly because it has such amazing music. And if you're into that, and you could see how it complements the game and how the gameplay complements the music, and it's just one awesome package. If that's something you're thinking, then definitely go with your gut and buy this game. And what else can I say? This is just a game that kind of came out of nowhere and just kicked me in the face. It's just something that, I had heard about, and I got the opportunity to get the game a little bit early. So I took the opportunity, and I'm so thankful I did that. And I'm not taking it for granted. I've been playing this game any chance I get, and it's definitely a gem, you guys, I promise. Check out the game. Let me know what you think about it if you are playing it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I definitely appreciate it. And I will catch you in my next one. Catch you later, guys. Peace.